Hi everybody and welcome back to the Civivi studio. Today we're talking slip joints. Civivi has released a slew of new slip joints over the last few months. We're going to talk about what we have on the table here today and talk about a few of the differences between some of these recent releases. Let's get into it. Slip joints have been around for a really long time. Everybody knows these as kind of an iconic knife that's been around forever, and a lot of times people classify them as a gentleman's carry knife. We're going to go over two of our newer style slip joint knives, and then I'll also refer back to a couple of previous models that you're probably already familiar with. The first model we're going to talk about today is the brand new Appalachian Drifter. This is a double detent slip joint that was just released, and we have 5 brand new variations of this ready to go. The Appalachian Drifter is available right now in 5 different colors with a couple different types of steel for the blade. This version right here that I'm holding is the olive micarta with an S35 VN blade. And you can see that there's a nice little flipper tab on the top of the Appalachian Drifter that allows you to get a nice flip with your finger. It does require a bit of a choke up to get it to deploy properly. It also allows for a really nice thumb flick. The hollow ground blade on the Appalachian Drifter is extremely slicey with a nice traditional clip point style blade. The other variations that are available, we've got a dark green micarta, and we've got 3 variations that are a carbon fiber with G10 overlay. Each of these comes with a really nice hand rubbed black Damascus steel. We've got a yellow carbon fiber overlay. We've got the blue carbon fiber G10 overlay and a gray. They all come equipped with a stainless steel clip that's slightly different than most of the Civivi knives that you've seen, which I can show you here. This will be your more standard stainless steel clip. It's just slightly different, and we'll talk about this knife here in a second. One of the unique things about the Appalachian Drifter is that double detent action that we have. It allows for the knife to be manufactured without a spine in the back that's used as a spring. Instead, you have those 2 detent balls on the liners that hold it in place, both in the open and closed position. It also gives it kind of a unique closing action versus some of the other traditional slip joints that have that really harsh stop at the halfway point. The Appalachian Drifter is extremely smooth all the way through as you open and close the knife. And it locks into place with those detents. I shouldn't say lock, it doesn't actually lock into place, but it's held in place with those detents. Really nice and really smooth action. So that's briefly the Appalachian Drifter. Let's talk about the Trailblazer, one of the other slip joint knives that was just recently released by Civivi. A lot of people ask why so many slip joints and what are we doing releasing all these? Well, the thing is there's a lot of different people out there that have different needs. There's different laws, different rules in different areas. And we try to make a lot of different knives that allow for different people to own them no matter what the laws of their particular country or state are. Okay, this here is the Trailblazer, which is your more traditional slip joint knife. You've got the spine in the back that acts as the spring or the tension bar that provides that tension on the knife as you open and close it, and also that midpoint where it stops. So again, traditional slip joint, pinch to open, and it's available right now in 4 different versions. We've got an orange, we've got blue, black, and the carbon fiber with the black Damascus. I'll show you the orange version in just a second. We're going to take that one apart so that I can show you the difference between the Trailblazer and the Appalachian Drifter on the internals. The Trailblazer runs on bronze washers. It's a very, very solid opening action, both to the midway point and the fully open point. We've got a 14C28N steel on the blade for the G10 versions, and for the carbon fiber version we've got a black hand rubbed Damascus. This one is a little bit heavier than the Appalachian Drifter. This one comes in at 3.19 ounces. It's got a little bit of weight in that spine, and the liners are a little bit thicker. And the weight on the Appalachian Drifter comes in at 2.49 ounces. All right, so here we got them taken apart. We've got the Appalachian Drifter here and the Trailblazer right here. As I mentioned, the Trailblazer, it runs off your bronze washers, and your Appalachian Drifter has the caged ceramic ball bearings. As I mentioned before, these knives feel extremely different when you're opening them. It's not necessarily because of the washers versus the bearings, but it has to do with the tension bar mechanism on the Trailblazer versus the double detent on the Appalachian Drifter. Both of the liners on the Appalachian Drifter are the same. They've both got a detent on this inside of the liner here. And these detents catch in the holes on the blade right here in both the open and in the closed position. So if I can pick it up and move it without it falling apart, you'll see that when it comes around and closes, that detent is catching into this second hole right here. And in the open position, the detent catches in this first hole right here. It's a super, super smooth action with those ceramic ball bearings. In contrast, your Appalachian Drifter has the traditional slip joint style with the spring in the back, or the tension bar, whatever you want to call it, providing the resistance. The flat portion of the tang here that holds it in that half closed position, and then the fully closed position. A lot of people asked us in our previous video in the comment section about tearing apart knives, the proper way to clean and maintain the knives. In reality, we don't recommend that you tear apart the knives. It does lend the risk for lost parts, damaged components, and it can void the warranty, which you want to avoid. And we'll go over in some future videos proper ways to clean and maintain your knives that don't require tearing them apart. We had a couple of other slip joints that have been released not too long ago. One I'm sure you're all familiar with is the Fracture. This is the one that was released as a fan appreciation model. It was released with a MAP price of $28.50, and it's a very, very simple but modern take on the slip joint. And then the other one that I feel like I should mention is the Rustic Gent. People have talked about how similar the Rustic Gent is to the Appalachian Drifter, which is very true. The clip point blades, the shape of the handle, the size are almost identical. The differences are in the Rustic Gent, you don't have a clip, so there's no pocket clip. It actually comes with a slip, a leather slip that you can carry it in your pocket. And the Rustic Gent also is equipped with a lockback. So technically it's not necessarily a traditional slip joint, but it functions like one with that lockback there. Now, I mentioned that Civivi likes to make product for everybody, right? So I know that there's guys out there saying, well, I like flippers and I like my knives to lock, but I also like the clip point and I like the style of these slip joints. Well, for you, there's the Ortis, which we'll talk about later in another video. But it's a very similar knife with a flipper tab and a liner lock. So I just thought I should show you that one alongside these others. I should also mention the Cornet pen that I was using as my pointer today. This is a brand new release from Civivi as well. It's a titanium pen with a bolt action and a ball bearing spinner on the top, just to keep you entertained at the doctor's office or in your meetings or whatever the case may be. A super fun little pen. So check out the Cornet as well. That's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I leave all of the specifications for these knives that we didn't cover in the video in the description, so you can find those there. Also, you'll find links to the products on our website. Let us know in the comments what your favorite slip joint is and why, and stay tuned for the next video from Civivi.